Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I've got a handful of agate nodules from the Gila Bend mountain range just outside of Phoenix, Arizona that I'm going to cut today. Let's walk through them and see what we're looking at. Alright, we're going to look at some of these smaller ones first. This one's kind of an odd shape, thin on one end, a little fatter on the other. A little bit of a window showing some quartz and banded agate. Cut it through this thick section. Hope for banded agate. Alright. Okay, kind of a clear or light skinned, kind of translucent looking. These are typically quartz, but sometimes they're not. There's not any windows, so that's a maybe. Alright. This nodule's got a window. Showing some banded agate. Weathered. So we'll cut parallel to that face. Alright, and then this little crazy looking nodule. I see a little window here with some possible banded agate. There's some windows on this side as well. So I don't know, I'll try to cut this in between the windows. If it's possible. There's some quartz right here. A lot of windows on this one. I don't know if it's going to be possible to cut this without hitting the window. Do my best. Go through the smallest window. Alright. This was interesting. The husk looks like it was growing on a pocket or some other crystals that had an odd shape. Got some banded agate showing. A little bit of quartz over here. It's another one of those I probably have to cut through a partial window to cut this one. Yeah, the husk's got that weird feathery look, like it was growing against like something that had tanzanite sprays. Alright, we already looked at that one. Alright, bigger nodule here. A little bit of agate showing. We'll cut through the fatter section of the stone and hope for no fractures. Alright, kind of a double nodule here, but it's got a big window. It's got some banded agate around a quartz crystal geode pocket with some cleachy or something that got in there. I could probably clean that out. So how do I cut this one? Well, if I assume that this is two separate bubbles, but that's not always the case, then I don't know if I want to cut in that gap. It might break. I don't know. I mean, obviously I got to cut parallel to this. It's just a matter of where do I cut it. Looks like it isn't two separate bubbles. On this side it looks like it's just one. It just looks like two on the top. I don't know how deep that host rock goes. So I don't know, maybe I cut it back through this bubble here. We'll see. Alright, last up we got this large nodule. Very weathered. Most of the husk is peeled off. This little piece of it remaining here. It's got banded agate and a quartz crystal center. It's kind of broken on that side and that side. I wonder if it's possible to cut it back behind that window, parallel to that one. It's got a lot of fractures, it might come apart. Only one way to find out. Let's get the saw, get it cut, and we'll see. So, let me get these cut, and I'll be right back with results. Alright, back from the saw. Let's walk through these. So I tried to cut that one in between the windows, but this was mostly fractured. It does have some banded agate around the quartz center. But yeah, there's just too many windows and fractures in this one to get a good cut. This still look good in the tumbler at some point. It's got nice banding. Alright. Okay, so this is the one I said I wanted to cut through the thickest part, which basically did. And this was more of a banded looking quartz. You can see it in different layers. It does have a bit of a geode end here. A little pocket right here. And here's the tail end of it on this side. Banding up here. Pretty clean other than this pocket, which I could clean out. This would look okay polished. Decent size. Alright, next up, this is the one I said was probably just going to be quartz. And I was pleasantly surprised. It is actually more about 2/3 banded agate and maybe 1/3 quartz. And the banding is really nice. And it's got almost a floater in the quartz, and the quartz is really clean. So yeah, this is definitely a candidate for polishing at some point. Love those bands. It's got the little white snowflakes in it. Very cool. Can't complain about that. Okay. I cut this one a little thinner than I was hoping, but it is right through the thickest part, so let's see what it... Okay. Again, nice bands and a little bit of quartz. And a little bit of a geode pocket in the center of this one. This one's definitely going to look good polished as well. I like the contrast in those bands. I can clean that up. Very nice. Can't complain about that. It's a little stone, but beautiful on the inside. Okay. All right, let's see how this big behemoth came out. First, let's look at the cut. So, my idea was to cut back behind that window and stay out of this, which I barely did. I think if I would have got any closer, that fracture probably would have broke. It's hard to say. Let's see what we got. Ooh, actually that's a cleaner cut than I thought it was. Beautiful banding on this end. And the quartz is cleaner than I thought it would be. Banding pretty much goes all the way around it, from here to here anyways. Wow. Yeah, at some point I'll have to flat polish this one. It's a pretty big stone. But the banding is really nice on this end. All right, not disappointed in that. Way better than I thought it was going to be. Okay, next up we had this little one that had a window showing. Let's see if it was full of fractures or not. Got kind of a weird diagonal cut there. Didn't do that on purpose, but worked out. Oh, nice. No fractures. Gorgeous pattern, just a little bit of quartz with a floater and then more quartz. A little bit of pitting on the bottom, but other than that, that is really cool. And look at the shadow banding in that. That's going to look really nice polished. Not disappointed there at all. That came out really good. Again, nicer than I thought it would be. I mean, I really couldn't see that being this. So, win-win for me. Wow. Very cool. All right, 2 left. Okay, so I'm probably going to soak this one and clean it out at some point, but let's see how the cut came out. Wow, very nice. It does have a little fracture, but other than that, I love the color, kind of a blue-gray with a little bit of quartz, clean quartz in the middle. Okay, you can't really see the fracture on this side. That is really nice. Great color, great pattern. Yeah, and I think that is a healed fracture actually. It's not an actual break in the stone, it's just a change in color from a band. Huh. So yeah, no fractures, very cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have to polish this one at some point. It's a really good one. I'll definitely clean that out as well. All right, well, last up. So I had this one that had windows all over it. So I had to pick where to cut. So next to that banded pattern, the only window that I really broke was this one on the back. And I stayed out of the pattern part. So let's see how it turned out. Let's see if I screwed that up or not. Oh, wow. Didn't lose much of anything over here. Look at that, it's got some little white orbs or snowflakes floating outside of that white band. Pretty much all the way around. Yeah, gotta polish that one. This side's even nicer. All right. Well, that is the last stone in this set. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. Bye.